Okay, welcome back to part 3 of the 2007 Super Bowl Championship Giants season. We kick off today with the Giants coming off of the bye week and heading home in their alternate red uniforms to face the Cowboys. The Cowboys came into this game at 7-1, the Giants were 6-2, and the Cowboys were a 1.5-point favorite. This was a game that the Giants needed to win if they had any realistic hopes of winning the NFC East. And in this game, also, Derek Ward was inactive. He would miss the next 3 games with an injury. So the Giants, during this period in the season, started to shuffle around their running backs a little bit. In this game, the score was tied 17-17 at the half, and the Giants were going toe-to-toe with their division rivals. Jeremy Shockey had a huge game, scoring a touchdown, catching 12 passes on 14 targets for 129 yards and a touchdown. So the Giants definitely saw something on film in the Dallas defense, and they felt that they could exploit Shockey against Roy Williams. But in the second half of this game, Dallas took over, outscoring the Giants 14-3. With this long bomb here from Romo to Terrell Owens, 50 yards, and the Cowboys ended up taking this one 31-20, and essentially wrapping up the NFC East, having beaten the Giants twice during the season. The Giants were really struggling defending the pass against Dallas. In their 2 meetings in 2007, Dallas had 8 passing touchdowns against the Giants, and all the other teams combined that the Giants played up until this point had a total of 8 passing touchdowns against them. Then we travel to Detroit. The Giants and the Lions are both 6-3. The Giants are 2.5-point road favorites in this one. Again, Derek Ward was out, so the shuffling continued. Brandon Jacobs and Reuben Drones were the main running backs, but as we'll see in a little bit, Jacobs goes down injured in this game, and so does Kiwanuka. We have an Ahmad Bradshaw sighting. There he is, folks. This was his little coming out party. He was used really during kickoff returns up until this point, but because of the injuries to Ward and then this game to Jacobs, Bradshaw became a bigger piece in the Giants' offense as the season went on. Also in this game, future Hall of Famer and rookie wide receiver Calvin Johnson caught his 3rd touchdown reception of his career in the 4th quarter of this game, a 35-yard pass from John Kitna, who threw for 377 yards, but the Giants did pick him off 3 times. So the passing defense was struggling a bit. We struggled against Dallas, we struggled here against the Lions, but we did hold the high-powered Detroit offense to only 10 points, despite all of the aerial yardage we were giving up. Detroit had 2 receivers over 100 yards in Sean McDonald and Roy Williams, and then Calvin Johnson chipped in with 3 catches for 45 yards and his touchdown. But the Giants come to Detroit, they get the win. Michael Strahan had a season-high 3 sacks on the day, but another ugly victory for New York, but a victory nonetheless. That's basically the story here in 2007. Just win, no matter how you do it, and advance to the next week. And that was the Giant way in 2007. It was never pretty, it was never flashy, there was never a 5-touchdown crazy game from certain individual players, but they played as a team and they got the job done when they needed to. So the Giants take this one 16-10. The Lions would actually go on to lose 5 of their next 6 games and end the season at a disappointing 7-9 after starting 6-3. The Giants, as I mentioned earlier, lost Matthias Kiwanuka, as you see right here, for the season with a broken leg, and they lose Brandon Jacobs for a few games with an injury. So they won the game, but they struggled with injuries once again. And the headline here reads, Giants win was a costly one, as we've mentioned, with the injuries. And then definitive D. So they did play well. The Lions were averaging about 26 points a game, and they held them down. Now the Viking game. So coming off a victory on the road against Detroit, you come home in front of your home fans and face a 4-6 Vikings team as a 7.5-point favorite. And the Giants pick this moment to play their absolute worst game of the season. On this very first play right here, only 40 seconds into the game, Tavares Jackson hits Sidney Rice on a 60-yard touchdown bomb, but that was just the beginning of the end. Eli Manning has his worst game of his NFL career. He threw 4 interceptions, 3 of them were returned for touchdowns. Darren Sharper had one that you just saw for 20 yards. Dwight Smith had a 93-yard touchdown. And then right here, Chad Greenway seals the deal with a 37-yarder. So 3 pick sixes for Eli. That's only the third time since 1970, since the merger, that 3 interceptions got returned for touchdowns by a quarterback in a game, and just a dreadful, dreadful performance. Ahmad Bradshaw started getting some carries in this game. He carried the ball 4 times for 29 yards because of the injuries to Jacobs and Ward, so they wanted to see what they had in the young rookie. And just a giant disgrace, as the article reads right here, in front of your home fans, with possible playoff hopes. So at this point, a lot of people were questioning Eli, and if the Giants team, even if they made the playoffs, were they going to do anything? Their offense was horrendous, and their pass defense was not stopping anyone. So they traveled to the reigning NFC champion Bears, who were just in the Super Bowl the year prior. The Bears were 5-6. The Giants, throughout their struggles, were still 1-point road favorites here in this game. But another wet day in Chicago. Eli Manning started off horribly, throwing an end zone interception when the Giants were close. The Bears led this game 13-7 at the half, and it looked like another pitiful performance by the Giants. But the defense kept the Giants in this game. The defense only allowed 3 points in the second half, and the Giants outscored the Bears 14-3 in the second half of the game. So they really clamped down to keep the Giants in this one. Derek Ward did come back in this game, back from injury. He scored 2 touchdowns, ran for 154 yards, but would be hurt again and would miss the remainder of the season with a broken left fibula. So now with Ward out for the season, and with Jacobs banged up, the Giants were relying on an old veteran, Reuben Drones, and a rookie in Bradshaw that had 5 carries on the season. Despite his recent struggles, Eli Manning did lead the Giants down the field at the end of the game with some not very impressive throws, but nonetheless got to their target, and the Giants would win this one on a touchdown by Drones with 1:33 to go and win their 5th consecutive road game, 21-16. Stand by your man. Yeah. Amazing what 1 week will do in the NFL. Last week they were ready to kill him. Well, I hope you enjoyed part 3. We will have the final piece of the regular season coming up with part 4 in this 2007 Giants Super Bowl run. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time for part 4.